Yo, 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 what's up, guys? Alright, so we have a World Tournament going on right now, which I think would be a good opportunity to make like a discussion video, just talking about some things that's been on my mind with this game lately. Because I'd rather spend time towards World Tournament rather than like doing like challenge events at the moment, so yeah, like I said, I think it'd be fun. Something that I've been wanting to talk about actually is this event right here, Festival of Battles, has got me thinking a lot because this is a very I don't know if I should use the word controversial, but it definitely is getting people talking, that's for sure. In either like a bunch of positive or negative ways. I personally really like this event, although like I'd say the one annoyance I have with it is just how long it takes to do. You know, we'll just look through all this. Like there's 50 phases all together. I mean, like just look at this. That is nuts. The difficulty and like the charge limits don't really bother me so much. It's just, I mean, my runs, like I have a 5-hour video off of this one single stage on my channel, so that's definitely a long one. And plus, like, I have a life. Like, Dokkan is not my job or anything, so it's I go in, do an attempt, I lose, I'm like, I have to go to sleep. I have to do stuff tomorrow or stuff like that, you know? But anyway, with this event being in existence, people talking about it, it's got me kind of thinking of like comparing how the meta has shifted in this game throughout the years, like from like challenge events, and just like how this places here, because whenever they had announced this event coming to the game, like officially through like Omatsu and Ken and all that, they were saying that this is like the hardest event ever, so that type of thing, and it's like, at the moment, yes, that is true that this is the most difficult event in the game, but basically what I'm trying to talk about here is specifically having to do with like the event and like relative to like when they first released. So I think in terms of that, Festivals of Battles actually isn't like the #1 most difficult, at least like, you know, relative to how it was on release, that type of thing, like, you know, perspective. Probably up there. I'd probably put it like #2 of like how difficult it is, but we'll see. So I have a lot of tabs open up here. We're gonna go through all this. So yeah, very thankful that Dokkan and like all these websites, they have it like the challenge and awakening stuff separated now, so all the Dokkan events are filtered out and on something else. So yeah, here's all the challenge events. I'd looked through a lot of these just to see like what type of stuff was you know, changing the meta and all that. So we'll just go through this huge list. So I will say, like, a lot of this stuff, well, a fair bit of the events here, I might not have a whole lot, especially like early on, because I mean, Super Battle Road, we'll just scroll all the way down to like the missions just to get an idea. So like, yeah, Clear Stage 1 of Super Battle Road came out like February 2018. This is at least on global. Maybe I should have pulled up the JP versions or whatever, but it's fine, but you get the idea. This is basically like 2017, 2018 event. So I just remember hearing funny stories about like, I mean, like, we'll just go to like stage 7, for example, and just look in here. Like, you're fighting against like these characters like Amon, Cacao, Raisin, and like at the time, like, you were dying from all this stuff. Nowadays, this is absolutely nothing. You could just come in and wreck this. But it was just funny. I remember hearing like, I'm dying from Chaozu, stuff like that. So I guess it was a little controversial at the time, just for that reason, I guess. It might sound a little silly nowadays, but hey, you could use items. Like, they never restrict you from using items in Super Battle Road, so like, I don't know, I wasn't there like when this event released, so I can't really say for sure like relative to everything, but I mean, items might have helped out a lot. But we'll just leave it there. So as for this, the Fight Legend Goku event, this is the very first of this this kind. They have other ones coming up that we'll talk about. So I know that this event, I wasn't there on release either, really, because like 2019, I guess maybe I was playing a little bit on and off at the time, but the main thing about this event is that this started to really prioritize like defense, as opposed to like previous stuff. Like, as I think like, I guess defense was pretty important in Super Battle Road and all that, but most of the time, like, since they were very short fights, you could just blow everything away with like huge attack and full crit builds and stuff like that. But this type of event, prioritize characters, especially that like stack defense. Because I mean, of course, you see this stuff nowadays, and this isn't all too much. 420k. I mean, like, there's normals doing way more than that. But at the time, like back in 2019, they actually started releasing characters specifically for stacking defense, like LR Gohan, LR Kalen Caulifla, stuff like that. So that was definitely something. And plus, like, one thing I really like about this event, even to this day, that can be fun, especially for like newer players, like, look at all these missions. You know, a lot of like stones and tickets from all this stuff, and like, with how easy this is, like, it might not be too much of a challenge, but it is fun to just see characters in action and like stack up and build up and all that. You got like these niche categories like low class warrior, Ginyu Force. I mean, these are more recent missions down as we go, but like, there's just a lot to do with this. So I think this event very much so affected the game in a positive way. So yeah. And then Extreme Super Battle Road, I think this came out like 2020, a little bit after like the 5th anniversary. This is global dates again. But the really funny thing I remember hearing about this is the fact that like this came out after the 5th anniversary, pretty close after. And the 5th anniversary LRs, the Part 1 LRs, was like the STR Gogeta Tech Vegito. And what's funny about them was that like they were kind of built for the previous stage we talked about, the Legendary Goku event, because like they built up, got better over time because they do like the passive skill transformation, have stat build up and all that. But their base forms really couldn't hold up to stuff like this, which was so funny. I remember hearing a lot of complaints about that. It's just that like they released the 5th year fusions, and they're not even good for an event that came out very soon after. Because Extreme Super Battle is basically just Super Battle Road, but like higher stats. That's really all it is. So, yeah, I just think that's funny to bring up there. ESBR still can be a little bit of a challenge, like nowadays, like with some stages. But I mean, most of the time, like, we got a lot of good characters, even on niche categories that like it's been a while since I've struggled in like a ESBR, SBR stage. I think the last time that I had trouble, it was pretty fun. I think it was this low class warrior. I know this was before I was making videos. Actually, I'm gonna try to pause and see if I can find a screenshot of me doing this no item, because this was a little bit before I had made my YouTube channel. Yeah, I want to try to find that. Okay, I had found it. I found a screenshot of me doing it. I didn't check to see what date it was, but as to when it came out, I mean, it'd probably be through the missions. Can I look it up? Try to do low. No, or maybe I could just do 61. That'd be easy. Stage 61. This came out at least on global 8/21/24. So it wasn't. It was very, very. What was the term I'm trying to look for? It was a little bit before I made my channel. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. But anyway, yeah, low class warrior. Here's a screenshot I had of me doing it no item. It was very tough. Look, that's Path to Power Get Goku before EZA. I was really just relying on a lot of stun chances and stuff like that. I mean, Tech 23rd World Tournament Goku, he does lower attack. That helped out a lot. It was really funny bringing AGL Bardock. I mean, I didn't have many options. Then that World Tournament SCR Goku, he had like multiple supers against like multiple enemies, so I think he helped out there. This World Tournament Physical Goku has a great chance to stun on a super attack, so that helped out quite a lot. And the Int Goku, being low enough on health, he'd have guaranteed stun, do a lot of damage on the active skill, so yeah, I'm looking forward to when we can have another ESBR stage that could challenge me like that. Alright, and then, and by the way, I'm trying to go in like timeline order of like when it released, at least on JP and all that. So then we have here basically like the challenge event of the 6th anniversary, the God of Destruction Assemble. A lot of these stages weren't like the toughest. I mean, I think, well, of course, eventually they did add on like basically like boss rush versions. I wish there was just like one stage with like all 12. That would be cool, but they separated into 3. But we're not really going to be talking about that. I mean, these stages didn't really play too much of a role in like the meta. They were cool to have though. But as for just talking about the initial 12 stages when the 6th anniversary was coming out, I remember, I think it was Moscow, had like an AoE super. Yeah, I remember that was a little bit tough to deal with at the time. But I mean, you had AGL UI, so I mean, you had him. You had 70% dodge to try to rely on. BRS I remember being a little bit tough, but here's the thing. I mean, if anybody was around during that time, you'd know. Stage 11 versus Belmod. This was... oh gosh, I have like I have like war flashbacks from this guy. I think I have a screenshot. Yeah. See, this was back then whenever I didn't really like no item stuff. It was, I think it was like worldwide 2023 is when I really started to delve into like no iteming everything. Started to really care about that. But before then I was like, whatever. They allow us to use items, I'll use it. So I had to use a support item, which was healing, Android, which is healing, so a lot of healing here. And look, I couldn't even team build back then either. I mean, look at this. This is the leader skill, Reps Universe 7. I mean, that's fine for most of the team. Like Khalifa didn't really need a leader skill, just she had 100% dodge because in her kit, I think even before Ize, it was a Universal Rival Saga or Pure Saiyan, she'd have 100% dodge against like those two categories. So she would be 100% dodging Belmod. So it's almost like she didn't even really need a leader skill. She wouldn't be doing damage even if she had a leader skill. Gohan, he was under like the 120 leader skill from Goku Frieza, but he wasn't under yeah, I don't think that he has Miraculous Awakening or anything. Right? Hold on. Okay, I just wanted to check in game just to be sure that like he wasn't on what is it, Miraculous Awakening? No, he's on Powerful Comeback, so he would have been on like in Evolution Blue Vegeta's team, but yeah, just wanted to take a quick look at that to see, because like yeah, having Gohan with only one leader skill, I guess that goes to show like how good he was that like, I mean, I remember struggling with him because of that, but it was whatever. STR UI, of course, like he was just dodge or die because he was type disadvantage. And this is before a lot of these EZAs, of course. Although, yeah, of course, this guy was easy on release, the free-to-play Master Roshi. So that was my initial first clear of that stage. I still remember that. Belmod's doing a lot. I mean, nowadays, like, this isn't much, but I mean, just look how many annoying mechanics he has. Like, he has 3 different types of super attacks. This one, he lowers both your attack and defense. This one, he lowers your defense more. And this one, he just does so much more damage. And he could do 2 supers in a turn. Like, what the heck? And, yeah, he's immune against most sides effects. He's not immune against defense lowering, but it's like, defense lowering is like never really mattered. He only had like 40k defense, like whatever. Locke's character switching. You know, it's only a 25% chance, but when it would happen, it would hurt. I mean, like, I don't know, just imagine, like, if I got unlucky and had, like, physical Master Roshi locked in slot 1 or something. And then plus you had a 30% chance to seal one of your characters. This is just such an oppressive phase. I don't think that they made it all too difficult. Is he in stage 3? No, he doesn't seem to be in stage 3. They, like, mixed and matched it. It's really weird. Yeah, there he is. This is the God's Destruction Unite stages. The ones like they can just combine them. I don't think. Yeah, they got rid of the locking. The sealing, they had like a higher chance of doing it. And of course the damage is higher, but at this point wasn't all too much. So anyway, you can just get rid of that. Fun to look back because I have a lot of fondness towards the 6th anniversary. Love that celebration quite a lot. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of that. Next up, we'd have the Fighting Legend Goku GT edition. And I remember this one shaking up the meta quite a lot during Golden Week of 2021. They released this on Goku Day, which is pretty cool. I think, yeah, I mean, of course the date's like a little bit off, but that's the intent right there, just for it to release on 5/9 Goku Day. So I still remember the phase that really messed people up was the Golden Giant Ape. Of course, like, we see these numbers, like, just keep in mind, like, to go back to, like, 2021, almost like 40 years ago. Like this was very hard to deal with, especially with the fact that like these earlier phases, like these rats, they would lower your defense. I mean, this Goku didn't right here, but I mean, especially from this Super Saiyan 3 Goku, lowering your defense by 40%, you go in this phase and oh boy, that'd be rough. And then the Int Goku, yeah, he'd be pretty strong too. Actually did a little bit less damage than the golden giant ape. But then, yeah, you get to this phase right here where he's disabling dodge. He can dodge you, and he's doing over 600k on his super. So yeah, that was a lot to deal with. But stacking characters reigned supreme in that. I did want to point out that there was one specific mission I remember struggling a long time for. I didn't beat it until like right before the 7th anniversary happened, I think. Let's see, it's Corroded Body and Mind. When did it come out? We could just search it up, I guess. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, it came out on release. Oh my gosh, it took me like half a year to do this one. Oh my gosh. So I have a screenshot here of me doing that. There was no way I could have done that on release, even on global, because I don't even think I had Tectonema for a little bit. I don't think I had him for a good long while. Using Tech Mass Saiyan, oh my gosh. I really hope they super easy him. He's in a bit of a weird spot because like he does have his own Dokkan event, but he's not like a Dokkan festival character. He's a banner unit. You could just pull him on any banner. So I hope they still decide to super easy A him, considering that he has his own like easy A event type of thing. Like Extreme Z Battle, basically. This guy in Goku, like I remember just crapping on him so much. But then like he would stack up enough defense to the point where he was actually like pulling through for me at the end, being type advantage in the last phase. This Deborah, oh my gosh. I look forward to what his EZA would look like. He did stack defense, so I remember that being useful. Wait, Majin Vegeta? Oh right, yeah, that's right, yeah, because global, my mind is always in the JP timeline for whatever reason. But yeah, Majin Vegeta came out before the 7th anniversary on global, so I guess when he came out, he really helped assist me to beat this a lot easier. I swear I had beaten this before he came out, but oh well, I guess maybe I'm wrong about that. It's been a long time. But look at me using items. Okay, so it was fun to go over that. That's pretty much it with that. And then next up, yeah, Final Legend Vegeta. They're kind of a bit similar. I don't recall any missions that was like super tough to deal with in here. Maybe Super Saiyan 2 could have been a bit difficult. But I mean, I think you had like AGO Gohan and AGO King Khalifa. I think they were on Super Saiyan 2. So, what made this fight so difficult was I mean, a lot of these earlier phases weren't so bad. Like, you were getting your defense lower a little bit, and the God Vegeta, I remember, could do some stuff. But really the main difficult point of it was just the fact that this Vegeta at the end massively lowered your defense by 80%. So, like, just for example, if you were like some typical character at the time that had like 200k defense, we'll say, minus 80%, you'd be taking, or your defense would be lowered down to like 40k, and he did 557k damage. And the thing is, like, HP leader skills is only like on average usually like only around like 130% to the HP. So our HP pools were sitting only around like 300, 400k. So that was kind of considered death at the time. But one thing to point out, I don't know why the game works like this, but I guess it's intentional. But stacking defense, or like the super deck effect and all that, that actually is not affected by the debuff. So that really helped out for a lot of characters that could stack. So yeah, again, disables dodge, dodges you a little bit. 9% dodge isn't a whole lot, but yeah, there's that. Yeah, I don't recall a whole lot of missions that like traumatized me, like that Corroded Body and Mind one. And then, yeah, we get to the initial 7th anniversary red zone. So, I mean, I have this one pulled up just because, like, I mean, I guess it's worth bringing it up. I remember Baby being a little bit difficult because he had AoEs in his last phase, and he could guaranteed stun you if he supered, like, right away. The Sin Shenron fight, the first phase could be really annoying. The fact that, like, he has stunning, lowers your stats, he can lock you and seal you, and the orb changes. And I remember especially for, like, the physical SOS4s, the 7th anniversary physical SOS4s, during this phase, they just had to be sure to avoid the super attacks. Because it was almost reaching 1 million there. But what made this not so bad, especially in comparison to Broly, we'll get to in a bit, the super attack is like probably like the hardest hitting like normal boss at the time. Disregarding like Dokkan event like Spirit Bomb Genki Dama shenanigans, like the Ultra Insane Goku Dokkan event, disregarding stuff like that, this 1.5 super was probably one of the highest at the time. But see, he had a countdown. Basically what it would do is that it'd be his second turn, the very last attack of the turn. See right here. So you could play around that. You could actually like just try to line things up in that way, put a favorable character there, I guess. And that's whenever the physical SS4s could help out. You transform into SS4 Gogeta and try to put him there for the super attack counter. I think if he failed, he might have not lived. I don't know, but it depends. But yeah, then we go on to talk about Broly here. This is, yeah, the very, well, not the very last one, because they made a movie boss rush, which, why don't they make a GT boss rush and say they made a burst mode? Whatever, it's fine. I mean, the burst mode was fun for Sin Shenron when it came out during the anniversary, but when are we gonna get the boss rush stage? Anyway, level 7 versus Broly. Cancels dodge all the way throughout, so dodging characters like AGLUI just could not use in here. And yeah, I mean, some of the damage on these earlier phases I remember being actually like pretty difficult to deal with. Some of your AGL characters, if you'd want to bring, like, the type coverage is just so tough to deal with, because like you might want to bring AGL characters maybe for this third phase, but then they had the tech phase beforehand that can just catch them, and just, it was rough. But the third phase here is an AoE of over 800k damage, and like there was almost no characters that could handle that. Almost no one. And again, disable dodge, so like even if you're thinking something about like, oh, you could use the physical SS4s, turn to Gogeta and try to counter, no, on release it was a dodge encounter. So it was complete, like, you just could not do it. It was about like a year or so later they actually updated all the like counters from like the SS4s, and I think most other super deck counters, they changed it to nullify encounter rather than dodge encounter. So then at some point like a year or so later, it actually, like, physical SS4s was a little bit better for this event. But as far as on release, yeah, there was not a whole lot getting past this. That's where you had to kind of just use items. So, and then yeah, you get to the very final phase, 1.2 million damage on super, can do it twice in a turn, and still disabling dodge. Like, one of the only characters that could actually like take that was the LR Tech gods transformed after they attack. If it was like before they attack, you might have not lived. Probably not. It was insane. Talking about both of these events right here, like Sin Shenron, the Broly fight, I actually want to bring this up on my account here in the team deck. See, like on page 1, I just have like some miscellaneous stuff like link leveling, grand guidance, world tournament. Someday if I were to work towards the weapon title, where you have to use like over 77,000 super attacks of the weapon type. But anyway, oh, that's a really old nostalgic old super tech team I used to use back then when I was like first starting out. Old movie heroes team. Destined Rival Saga 3 struggle. Old World Tournament setup. But here we are down here at the bottom. This is like the very first teams I had used to clear both of those stages. Both Goku Gohan's team, they were pretty helpful, especially like Gohan. Yeah, the Gohan form here having a guard, and I don't remember if his counter was a nullification at the time. I think it also was a dodge on release, I think. But yeah, as for Broly, like, Tech God Goku was just a must-run, like, you needed to do it. Him being at type advantage and having 77% damage reduction against movie balls or pure Saiyans, like, it was almost impossible without him, nearly. I mean, this LR Goku Gohan, I'm not sure if they could handle a super, especially after they attacked, maybe. But they did a lot of damage, they helped out quite a lot there. Tech Gogeta before EZA. Of course, after EZA, they demolished this event, but you definitely wanted to try to transform into Gogeta. Probably help out in terms of like the heal at times. Well, I mean, we're looking at his EZA kit now, but Tech Gohan before EZA. Look at this AGL Kid Gohan. He could EZA this year. I really look forward to that because this dude, he gives all allies 3 ki and 58% defense, so he does stack defense as well, and on his active skill he gets guard for 1 turn and HP recovery, so I'd really like to see what his EA is going to be looking like. But that took me days to do with items. Like using the Whis during like phase 3 against like the STR Broly, and maybe trying to like save it for like a phase in the AGL Broly. Like, it took me days to do that. And then versus Omega, yeah, this, I remember this EZA back in late 2020 was actually, like, he seemed like he had potential, but it's just like he had a certain condition. When there's a Future Saga ally whose name includes Trunks attack in the same turn, he'd get extra stats and an extra crit. He actually got quite a bit more, like, viable when LR Vegeta and Trunks came out during Tanabata of 2022. But I still managed to use him because he was type advantage against the very final phase of Shinron. Because first and third phase was int. I guess it was just the second phase I'll just try to hide him. Definitely needed to be in type disadvantage. But yeah, he has some damage reduction. At baseline 30% in each turn pass, he builds up to even more, up to a max of 58% damage reduction, being type advantage, helpful. And then, of course, this was whenever this guy didn't have an EZA yet. He had greatly stacked attack and defense, and he did support Goku's family, which was the entire team, was it not? Yeah. Okay. I had AGL UI, just help out with dodging. So, nostalgic times. 7th anniversary brought in quite a lot of like challenging times. But it was fun. It was fun. So, yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of the Broly event. So, I personally think, now that we've gotten to this point, I think this probably takes the cake for like hardest event relative to like its release, even more so than Festival of Battles, because there's this, for anybody that watches Dokkan YouTube content, everybody knows the Truth DT. I watch him a lot myself. He's pretty good. I went to go look through the other day. I'd rather do this because one thing, of course, is show don't tell. Alright, so I wanted to pull up this guy's videos on this stuff. So as for Red Zone Broly, let's check the specific date. February 22nd, 2020. He plays the JP version, so that's whenever that came on JP. And he first got the no item run video put out March 4th, 2022. So that's a good couple days. That is, I mean, I can't math exactly, because especially because February is a weird month, it has like less days than the rest of the year, but I mean, that's over a week of trying to get out that no item run. But if we look at Festival of Battles, look at the dates here. March 14th, as for his, oh wait, well, I have it inverted, but this is no item run. March 14th is whenever he got that no item run, and March 13th is when he did his very first run, so literally just 1 day, 1 to 2 days within that range of like, first run and no item. As for Broly, it was like over a week. So, I mean, if you don't want to use that as a metric as to how difficult it is, that's fine. But I'm just saying from like a lot of people's different experience, even my own, I definitely think that Broly is like the most difficult event relative to like how it was on release and the perspective and all that. So there's that. Next up, what we'll be talking about is the Cell Max event, and this one, yeah, this was definitely shattering. I don't know, that's just the one word that comes to my mind of just like how difficult it was. To be honest though, like if you went in and just tried to get like any, like not try to do any of the missions or anything like that, there was some setups. I mean, Tekka Goku of course would be the GOAT in here. LR Vegeta and Trunks came out around the same time as this event, and they were type advantage against the final phase, because the first two phases are really nothing to worry about. The second phase, maybe if you have like an int character, maybe they could get messed up from like the normals or the super attack, but it's really just this last phase. Like look how much of a damage jump there is. Like the second phase, almost 400k, whatever. Second phase or third phase, almost 2 million. You can do it twice a turn. He has a 50% chance to lock a character. And the thing is too, is that in this event you could only bring one type of support item. It was the Senzu Bean. I think they might say it here. Yeah, in stage 1, the only support item that can be brought into battle is Senzu Bean. You could bring support memories though. Advantageous characters. I think this was characters that could do like more damage. I don't think that like they had extra defense. I think that was the case. I don't think that like their defense was buffed up or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, of course there was a whole bunch of the characters from like the movie, which it's, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, it was later on they released multiple missions for this event. On release, I guess it wasn't so bad. Let's see, so as far as global's concerned, late October 2022, when a lot of this stuff seemingly came out. But then, yeah, it was around December, like late December, was when they started adding some more missions to it. 6 superheroes, and there was one in particular that just, my gosh, really messed me up. These are stage 2, so that's not even really what we're talking about. Stage 2 is tough, but not like meta defining. I wouldn't call it. It was this one right here, 6 special pose. See, here's the thing, because I was bringing up about like we have these advantageous characters, including SCR Gamma 1 and AGL Gamma 2. Even though Gamma 2 was type disadvantage, he had some crit in his passive, so he could actually still do quite a lot of damage. He'd be a really good linking partner next to Gamma 1, which I think while Gamma 1 still had like his intro guard up, he could actually take a super from Cell Max. But once the guard ran out, then I think that like he wouldn't really be able to do anything against like the super attack. But basically it's just that like you'd get Gamma 1 to handle like maybe a super attack in slot 1 or something, and then Gamma 2 would do like a majority of the damage. But thing is, for me, I unfortunately did not have the Gamma 2 on release. I'd gotten some copies of Gamma 1 from what I remember. But by the way, I think the Int Gammas are just gonna completely destroy this event nowadays, the first stage. Wait, yeah, here we are. So, where? Oh yeah, I pulled them up, okay. So, where's... I'm losing myself. Oh yeah, okay, here's the, so, yeah, locks. That's why you could bring the Senzu, because the Senzu bean not only gives you a full heal, but it nullifies negative effects, so you can actually get rid of the lock that way. So I was bringing up special pose because I didn't have Gamma 2. I had Gamma 1, but like he wasn't doing the damage really. So what I had to do instead was to try using the Ginyu Force, and eventually I did get it done, but it drove me insane. It made me feel similar to the Corroded Body and Mind mission for the GT Legendary Goku event that I brought up earlier. It's a very similar thing. It took me multiple months to do this. And I used both Senzu beans. I used a support memory that buffed up their stats a little bit. I think in terms of handling the super, basically no one could do it. You just had to, I guess I just had to rely on, yeah, I don't think that Raccoon and Goto could handle. I mean, like, they were guarding, maybe they could. Maybe. Then of course they had the dodge from Berta and Jace. Int Ginyu, I think he could definitely help out because he had damage reduction type advantage against the last phase. It was just the second phase, maybe he could be hurt a little bit by. But yeah, this mission drove me insane not having Gamma 2, but as you can see, I got done with the Ginyu Force. That was like really tough. I know it's with items, gross, but even with items, that was very, very difficult. So yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of the Cell Max events. If it wasn't for that special pose mission, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad, but that one mission just, oh my god, it was so bad. Specifically if you did not have Gamma 2. But anyway, next up we have this, we get Bloodline Edition Ultimate Red Zone. I don't think this one's all too bad. The Metal Cooler Core had some pretty, like, oppressive things to do here. So this first phase had 1 billion HP, which, the charge limit you had was only 6, so you only had like, or was it 6? You had a very limited amount of turns to be in here. I think it was actually 9, so you could be in here for 3 turns. I think that was what it was. He lowers your defense, which that could hurt. He could also super attack twice in a turn. Did a decent bit of damage, but like really good characters maybe wouldn't take a whole lot. But it was really the second phase that did a lot of damage. Hold on, we'll just add up the math here. That plus 30%, we're just gonna get us up to 1.9, almost 2 million damage. And he has a 60% chance to seal one of your characters, so that was very annoying to deal with. But I mean, honestly, this event, look, I've never really been a big fan of LRSCR Cooler. I'm sorry if that disappoints some people. Maybe, like, I know a lot of people have like a lot of good memories using them, but I think this event really plays up to that character's strengths. I feel like if this event did not exist, people probably wouldn't have been that crazy about LRSCR Cooler. That's at least just my opinion. If you disagree, that's fine, but that's just my opinion. I feel like people wouldn't have been that crazy high up on LRSCR Cooler if it wasn't for this event playing into his strengths of, like, Cooler was type and class advantage. Because, like, if you're the same class, Extreme, like, you know, LRSCR Cooler's Extreme, the boss is Extreme, you take less damage both ways. If it's like a super versus extreme, you're taking more damage both ways, if you know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that helped him out a lot. And plus you'd have time to like stack up and get some build up in this first phase, and then once you get here, like, you'd be able to do like the active skill and stuff like that. So, but I mean, it was kind of fun. It'd just be a little annoying sometimes with the ceiling. That was kind of just a big annoyance from it. As for missions, wasn't a whole lot. Yeah, I don't think it was all too bad. I remember at one point they did have a mission for like full like int lineup. It was like one of those like extra missions. They haven't done one of those in a while. If y'all remember, if y'all was around for some of these, they had like let's see, maybe I could find some. Just go to missions, just try to look through. They have like these temporary missions from time to time that's meant to be like challenge stuff for like old events. They haven't done it in a very long time. I kind of miss them, honestly. Well, I'd be able, if I come across it, I'd be able to tell what it is. Like, it'd have like a certain like look to it. We're just gonna be digging through a whole bunch of them here, so maybe I'll just pause and come back when I can actually find one. Aha! I found one of you suckers. Here it is. Inevitable Showdown Extra Missions. So what is this one? I just wanted to find an example of one of these because like it could be a lot to dig through like all these old missions. But I'd found it. I just went to like the old tab and just scrolled through to a couple pages. But this one's for the Red Ribbon Army edition. Okay. So, I mean, whatever. At least I found one of them. But they had one of those for this Wicked Bloodline edition. I think... Am I just making things up? I think I was just doing like a full int lineup for fun or something. Because the missions they had was for this fight, actually. I have a video on that. Like I'll try to pull it up. That was like one of the more like tough things that I did. Let me look through my channel. Let's see. Videos. Oh, you know, I'm gonna be back. Alright, here we go. There's the video I'm looking for. So we can just go over here and look up extra, see if that should show up with something. Yeah, here we are. Inevitable Showdown Extra Missions. This was stage 1 versus that Frieza fight. I remember this being like really difficult. This is whenever the AGL Namek Vegeta came out, which it was funny that at the time people were kind of like saying he's not good, but he's actually really good for Festival of Battles from what I'm hearing. So yeah, that was a very difficult mission. I think you had to use like 6 Planet Namek Saga. We'll go ahead and just maybe try to open it up. I'm gonna just mute it and let's see what's going on. Skip ahead a little bit. Oh yeah, here's the team I was using. Yeah, this was very tough, but you can't even really experience this nowadays because the extra missions are only around for a limited time. So yeah, there's that. So we'll go on back over here. That's pretty much it for this one, so we can just close all this. Now this event right here, I really don't like this one. They had some stages that were pretty fun. These first couple stages are kind of easy. I think level 3 Cooler Returns I found really enjoyable. It was goofy for sure. But I mean, just look, each phase has 5 metal coolers of each type. And it's just several different turns of this. Of course, they have like better stats and have like their Dokkan Awakenings all the way throughout. But basically the whole idea here was that like that old banner unit S Sierra Piccolo, he had gotten an easy A. Actually, I'm gonna just go ahead and show it. Yeah, because no, that's not that. They have like a list of characters that are like advantageous, as they say right here. So that is weird. Is the site kind of bugged here? Maybe I'll just pull it up in game. So we'll go on over there just to see. So it's the Pride of the... Wait, what exactly is it called? Fighting Spirit of the Saiyans and Pride of the Wicked Bloodline. Mouthful of a name, that's for sure. Here we are. So we can look through and see there's the list of advantageous characters. I'm gonna get more into this in a second here, but like each stage has their own thing of it. Yeah, they don't have that on the website, huh? Oh, wait. Yeah, like, there's nothing to click on here. It just shows that, and there's no button below it. But it's fine, we can show it in-game. It's whatever. So, let's go to stage 3. Yeah, this is the one where phase 1 to 10, there's like 5 of each. Yeah, here, you could use, that S Sierra Piccolo. He's really good for World Tournament, but he'd be very good for here as well, doing like an AoE. So, there's that. But the reason why I don't like this event so much really comes down to how difficult some of the later stages are. Especially like level 5, I think in particular, was just like way too absurd. These stats don't look too bad. I don't know. It's lots of character switching. That was very annoying to deal with. There was something in here. What was it? I remember there was something about this stage that like maybe it would get like enhanced stats if you don't bring like the advantageous characters or something. They don't explain it all too well, huh? It's gotta be somewhere. There are advantageous characters for each stage. Form teams from characters of the movie and engage in fierce battle where cannons are not allowed. Each stages have different restrictions on the category of characters. So, yeah, that was also something that was annoying too, is that you can't just bring like any character in here. I mean, if we just go to stage 6, for example, pull this up, go to team formation. See, like, I can't even go through my whole box. Like, I don't have any filters on, but yeah, like, I can't access all like 4,000 character slots or anything. Yeah, it'd be very specific characters you'd have to use of like categories. So not only was there that, but the stats were just insane. I remember Tech God Goku actually taking like a lot of damage to the point where like you'd get close to death or even die in some cases, which just felt insane. I don't know, this number doesn't seem right to me. Just 1.4? There's no way that was that bad. I feel like maybe like the stages got buffed. It's been a while because this was worldwide of 2022. Yeah, but these later phases were just very tough to deal with, really. And not a whole lot of characters were even out there. Like, you were restricted in what characters you could bring in the first place, and they had the advantageous characters, which most of the time swap back to the game screen here. Let's go to this. I mean, if you had noticed, a lot of the time the advantageous characters was just like some of the new summonable characters. I mean, like new summonable LR at the time, new banner units, new free-to-play character, old banner unit. That's just like an exchange of a free-to-play character. Of course, this banner unit was like basically unusable. This free-to-play character was kind of unusable. I don't know, it's weird. But against like the really bad phases, stages 5 and 6 in particular, summonable, yep, all. And then they allowed you to use like some of the recent EZA characters that came out, but they were not very good for this type of thing. Like, they allowed you to use them, but they would still just die instantly anyway. Even that guy, like, what the heck? And then stage 6, I remember seeing some setups that people would use like the free-to-play Metal Cooler team to take this down, but it was still very tough. So this event just felt very pay to win to me, which is something I never like whenever this game does. I don't know, I guess it's just how restrictive it is, but anyway, I don't want to get stuck on it too long. It's just my opinion of it. If people disagree, then that's fine. So then we go to the 8th anniversary challenge event. Birth of the Shadow Dragons really wasn't all too impactful. I mean, it was fun though. It only ever went up to stage 7 during the 8th anniversary. They added a level 8 during Tanabata of 2023. So they had like more GT stuff going on. So stage 7 versus Sen Shenron. I mean, yeah, it was really just like stats and AoEs. That's pretty much all it was. I mean, it was just a decently sized fight. Like, it wasn't too long, but it wasn't too short either. So you had some time to build up with characters and all that. Of course, the GT duo is pretty good here, going against like a extreme physical phase. Like you get like the standby, like revive with them and all that. AoEs are pretty damaging. I remember. Especially for some characters, like whenever they don't attack first, like maybe this could be a lot to deal with. Almost 500k on this AoEs. And then level 8 was kind of almost the same thing, just a little bit different. See, the same amount of phases, stats are just like a little bit higher up. See, yeah. But there was a little bit of differences, especially in this first phase here. being able to do side effects to you. What about the first phase here? They just like randomly changed key spheres, okay. But it was kind of funny to me that they disabled dodge specifically only in this very first phase, because he doesn't disable dodge in the second or third. And I think the only reason as to why they did this is because during release of this event, they also came out with LR Int Super Saiyan 4 Goku that has like the standby into Oob and then full power SS4. He wants to get 5 hits to go into the standby, and since he's an end character, he naturally has 5 dodge because of hidden potential system. So they disabled dodge during this phase to make sure that he wouldn't get that 5 dodge, which I think is really funny. But yeah, because it'll help him get the hits he needs during the tech phase. Maybe you'd use the standby during the STR phase, get that done, and then just unleash everything in this end phase and probably finish off very soon. So, I mean, it was kind of decently fun, but it wasn't like ultra impactful for the meta. It just was like slightly a bit more difficult than everything that came before. Alright, and then here we have a stage that's was very controversial on release for sure. Dismal Future Edition Ultimate Red Zone. So I still remember like level 2, I think these first 2 stages came out like during the countdown for Worldwide 2023. Stage 2 in particular was very tough, like right away having to deal with all this. By the way, whenever this shows up, it's 100% HP recovery. That's not ever true. That's just basically like 100% chance of it activating. That's not how much it actually heals. But yeah, of course, like a lot of these stages are really tough, but the main point of contention here was the very last one versus Futa and Zamasu. Super attack doing 1.2 million, AoE's doing 500k. This was just right away, and like it was a lot to deal with. But it's a short fight, only 2 phases here. So once you get towards the end, unless you just get unlucky, like maybe a character, like a I don't know, less defensive character would get hit by the super attack here, which this should probably be reaching a little bit over 2 million at this point. We'll go ahead and just pump that in, plus 30%. That gets us up to 2.2 million. Yeah. But yeah, but at least he's not like super multiple times or anything, but it was just very tough. But were there like tough missions? I don't really think that. I think it was more so just like trying to get it done. 6 time travelers, I mean, that was what's getting buff at the time. That's kind of what you'd want to use anyway. 6 superheroes, I mean, that's shouldn't be too bad on release. It was really just this first phase, just having to deal with like all this right away. And plus he had the damage threshold too. So, we'll just go ahead and get rid of this, see what's this one. A Divine Wrath and Mortal Will. Okay, so this one isn't like super up there, but I wanted to bring it up because they had a specific mission for, I think it was level 8. Some of these later stages were pretty tough. Was stage 6 all too bad? Maybe a little bit, but I don't recall that one being too tough. Yeah, it was just 7, 8, and 9 I remember being pretty difficult. What was fun about level 7 was the fact that he did a lot of damage, but you could actually attack lower him. So if you would just go into a team full of like a bunch of attack lowering characters, that could probably help out. But specifically level 7 had a mission. Let's see where it is. Level 7 under special conditions. No, it's not that one. Is it? It was... Am I thinking the wrong thing? Oh, it's level 8. My bad. I'll just on level 7 earlier. But anyway, stage 8, you had to use 6 Entrusted Will characters on the team. And it's like, today, Entrusted Will is not that bad. I mean, you have Tech Ultra Instinct and all that, but on release, especially on Global, we didn't even have LR Int SS4 Goku yet, who is on Entrusted Will, so we would have helped out a lot, especially on JP, but on Global, since we were still behind, they had only been recently announced the Global Sync at this point, right as the Worldwide 2023 was starting up. they announced like the sync was gonna happen, which didn't happen for like a year. Because it finally happened worldwide 2024. But anyway, 6 Entrusted Will versus let's look at the stats. Wait, did I pull it up here? Yeah, I did. So it's just one phase, but you're immediately dealing with like a 2 million super. It's really simple. That's really all it is. Just one super that's over 2 million right away. 600k normals. But I remember actually being really proud of this, that make this post here on like my original account. I still do this. This is just my general account here. That's not related to this YouTube channel, but this is before I was making videos, of course. See, I made this September 24th. Look at the goat here, Matan, making a comment on there. But yeah, I'd gotten this done. I think I was really low. Well, no, I wasn't that low in HP. This took me a lot of tries. I don't think God Goku's on Entrusted Will. I don't think so. I'm gonna check in game just to see. Because regardless, I didn't even have them. I don't think. I'm checking in game right now. Let's see. Trusted Will anywhere? I really don't think so. I mean, it kind of maybe would make sense for him to have it, because I mean, it's like the other Saiyans are entrusting. I don't know, but it's whatever. So God Goku didn't have it, but thing is that for a lot of these missions, the friend doesn't need to satisfy the condition. It's just your own like team of 6 characters. So yeah, everyone else on here is on Entrusted Will. This is a lot of characters before their EZA. Like Namagoku didn't have his EZA, AGLUI didn't have his EZA. It wasn't the 9th anniversary yet. I mean, NTUI has EZA, but he was pretty bad. So really what it was that like, if AGLUI failed to dodge at all, being type disadvantage, just instant death, easily. That Trunks, that very new Trunks, I was really struggling with him, just trying to get some of his like additional supers and all that. Well, we'll pull him up in game because I wanted to show what exactly he was doing there. So let's pull up Trunks. Yeah, there he is right here. So if when there's a Realm of Gods category enemy, he launches a guaranteed additional super, and he's effective against all types. So that would help out his super deck effect, where he raises defense by 40% for 6 turns. So I also went full additional on that, so to help him out there. Okay, but yeah, that was very tough. Ran a lot of runs. That was very close. Future Gohan was of course very good, having 80% damage reduction for the first 5 turns, and plus had the active skill. And then Trunks there, being type neutral, but only getting up to 30% damage reduction. That was so tough. I remember a strategy I had to use where I would like just hope for open rotations where like UI would be like in turn 2 or 3, get low on HP that first turn, and then just immediately transform with him, because upon that Int Goku's EZA, let's look up Ultra Instinct. Yep. So when you transform into this guy, which is a passive skill transformation, the awakens when HP is 50% or less, it's automatic there. But when you get to happen for the very first turn, he has guaranteed dodge. So I remember that was helping me out there. But yeah, that was pretty tough. Just wanted to show that because I remember being quite proud of that. But we can go ahead and get rid of this. So now we have Dragon Ball Super Edition, Supreme Magnificent Battle. I remember for almost through a majority of the year, it was like these last 2 fights. Gogeta was very tough. He's kind of simple, I guess. It's just that like the stats were just so high up. But yeah, this is starting to get to the point where like these bosses are starting to do like more stats effects and stuff like that on their super attacks, like raising their own attack for the rest of the turn and sealing you and all that. These first 2 phases are guaranteed sealing, and then this first one, yeah, also guaranteed sealing, or I meant the last one. But yeah, this is definitely the 9th anniversary had a pretty big jump in terms of power creep for sure, because I mean like this would be a lot like the previous year, but it's just starting out right there and just building on up. And they are raising their attack on a lot of these super attacks. Heck, we'll see how much damage is Blue Gogeta doing here at the end. 2.7 plus 100%. That is just doubling it. He's at 5.4. Oh my gosh, yeah. Kind of forgot just how difficult it was to deal with this event a little bit since I ran into this. You can lower his attack, but I mean, that didn't really affect it a whole lot. He had AoEs too, which was really damaging. His normals was over 900k. Plus when you get this, that buff it up, like basically double it there. Wow, yeah. He was very tough in terms of stats. But Beast Gohan, I don't feel like Beast Gohan was like, I don't know, for some certain teams he could be easy, but I mean he locks, and his damage doesn't seem as crazy high. That's the one thing. Gogeta is doing that, while Beast, he's probably only doing around like 2.7. I'm gonna take a guess. So how much that is? Let's see. No, 3.1. Okay. That's still like, you know, 2 million less than what Gogeta was doing. But he does like do all these like annoying things, like guaranteed stunning, I mean, and locks. And his super had a 30% chance, so it was pretty likely that he would super towards the start of the turn. But yeah, for some characters it'd be tough to build up through these early phases, doing a lot of damage. I remember they had a mission that was really tough on JP initially, but once it came to Global, it wasn't all too bad. It was this one right here. Clear stage 8 of this event with 6 artificial life forms, and before it was really bad. But on Global, we had Golden Week of 2024 where they had AGL Angel SS3 Goku and Ins Fat Boo. So with that celebration, they had a lot of buffs to like Majin Power and artificial life form as a whole, so made it a lot easier there. But yeah, we'll just close all that. So next up we come to Majin Buu Saga Ultimate Red Zone. So yeah, especially stage 4 was really tough throughout like a good couple months, up until like Tanabata. I think this was probably like the most difficult fight in the game. We'll just look at this first. I got some other things to talk about with this event, because they had some fun memories with this one. About to be a year old, quite soon actually. But anyway, this first phase I think had a charge limit of like 6 counts or 6 charges, so only 2 turns you could be in this first phase. He had 90 million HP, 75% damage reduction. Oh, so difficult of an event made my voice crack. I'm telling you, can't believe this game. But anyway, 2.2 million on super. I think what it was for this, the countdown's a little weird display there, but what it was for him was something I mentioned similar earlier on about it was the 7th anniversary Sen Shenron fight. Like the last phase, it'd be the second turn of that phase and the very last attack. That's also what this Kid Buu would do as well. But once you did that super, then the phase would end and you'd move on to the int phase here. The HP is not carried over. It's the same value, but his HP does reset. He has a little bit less damage reduction though. And the biggest thing about this phase is the fact that he gets 5% attack with each attack received. It doesn't mention that there's a max here, although I think there was. I think it was like 150 or something. I might be wrong, but I think I remember hearing that number flying around some places. So we'll add in 150% plus the 30% from the super. Yeah, that sounds about right. 5.7 at max. So yeah, and plus he did heal. I think this actually was the percent of HP heal, like 2% of his HP. So he had to deal with like HP regen, him having 90 million HP, and So he would stick around for a bit, and plus you'd have to deal with that. And not a lot of characters could deal with over 5 million on Super. Very tough. Yeah, especially because like Global didn't have like Beast Gohan and all these 9th anniversary characters quite yet, because Global came before, or Golden Week, whatever. Yeah, and the Super chance was pretty high up there. So that was very tough. I remember they had one mission that was very tough for it. It was Power Beyond Super Saiyan. I think I'd use 4. Let's see. No. Stage 4, at least 3 Power Beyond Super Saiyan characters on the team. So you didn't have to do 4, you only had to do 3. Okay, but I have a screenshot here of me getting that done. It seemed like I'd use 4. Is that right? I could have sworn it was 4, but hey, maybe it was only 3. Maybe I'm just misremembering. But yeah, I gotten it done with this right here. This looks very odd, but here's the thing. I actually was able to defeat the STR phase. You're able to, if you're able to kill this first phase within the first 2 turns, you don't even move on to the end phase. You just like end the fight. So that's actually a strategy you can employ there. So that's what I went for. I think what I tried to do was just getting either mine or the friend SS3, Angel SS3, on rotation with Super Easy Dragon Fist. So maybe like Super Easy Dragon Fist slot 1, the friend Angel SS3 slot 2, and then, I mean, the floaters didn't really matter too much, I didn't think. It would either be like Gohan or Boo. And then the other rotation would be, like, this all is luck. I can't even set this up. I just have to hope things work out. But the other rotation would be, AGL LR SS4 Goku, and then the Limit Breaker SS4 Vegito, because like they share some building skills like Saiyan Roar and stuff like that. And plus, I think we'll take a look at this in game right here. So what is it? Vegito. We'll look up that. So SS4 Vegito here. Yep. He when there is another Giant Ape Power or crossover ally attack in the same turn, or Giant Ape Power or crossover enemy, he gets extra stats and great chance of launching an additional super. So that helped out his damage a lot there. And having him next to the LR AGL SS4 Goku, that satisfied that condition, Giant Ape Power. And this was before, like, well, I mean, this was after his EZA, but this wasn't during the time where he had like the buff before 10th anniversary, because they did that for a little bit. I have some videos of me using like the buffed characters before they went away. Hopefully they do that again. That was fun. But yeah, what I did want to talk about a little bit actually was stage 1. Now, okay, so I wouldn't call stage 1 meta defining or anything, but I just want to talk about this because I don't know when else I would. But they had like the extra missions that I brought up earlier, if you remember, the Inevitable Showdown extra missions, all that. They had some for level 1 versus Babidi's forces. Now if we just take a look at the stats of this, really not a whole lot, especially in comparison to what stage 4 was offering. I mean, like, just look at this. I mean, yeah, that's not going to be a whole lot there for like a normal team. But here's the thing, they had a mission. I actually pulled up a screenshot here, this will be easier to find. Clear stage 1, the Majin Buu Saga Red Zone, with at least 5 int type characters on your team with 7 turns without using any support items. That is a lot. 5 int characters, 7 turns, no items. And all you get for it is just skill orbs. Or not skill orbs, that's like level orb. 3 level orbs. Super extreme types included, friends do not count. So yeah, that's the thing, is that like basically nearly full ends in the very final phase is physical. 7 turns, no items. You can see how that would probably be pretty tough, especially on global too. Is that like on JP, like the big advantage they had was that they had LR int Evolution Blue Vegeta EZA, while he was not out on global. Yeah, he would have been terrible for this. But yeah, that character would have made it a lot easier. But as far as global went, I had actually gotten it done, and that's actually, well, I could show this in game right now. I have this specific title set. Let's go to my profile here. Alright, so yeah, it might be a little bit hard to see because of how like squished the text is, but here from the title, I think it should be in special title. Let's just filter by gold. There's one of these. Let's just find the view for it here. It's gotta be somewhere, huh? Oh, let's go by acquired. Yeah, filter by that. Oh boy, it might be a little bit difficult to find, maybe. I know it's in here. Maybe I'll, oh heck, man. Cause like, yeah, it should be in here. What the heck? I'll pause and come back and find it. I don't want to take too long with it. Okay, I found it. Maybe I passed it up earlier or something, but here it is right here. So it says Ultimate Red Zone Majin Buu Saga versus Babadi's Forces extra missions accomplished. So complete all the extra missions of the related stage during the event period. The reason why I use this title is because of just how difficult this mission was on release for global. Because like, here's the team I had used. I don't think I had Int Fat Buu. He maybe would have helped. But the thing is that, like, if you didn't build him full crit, he wouldn't be doing a whole lot of damage. Maybe it would have helped anyway. But, yeah, using Tekfune Zamasu, his team, he's a decent character himself. I mean, maybe not so much anymore, but at this time, he was, you know, just fine. Plus, he would have a Goku Black EZA there to link up next to. Cell right there, I think I would, from time to time, get his passive skill transformation. Int Hit, that is... Hold on, why would I be using him? Was it because he would like stun or something? I don't know. Maybe it's just because he had dodge. I think he just might have had crit too. I mean, instead of just coming up with these ideas of why, let's just go take a look at him. Alright, so let's search up hit. Yeah, there he is. So, reload attack and defense for 1 turn. Great chance to stun the enemy, disable enemy's guard. Oh, that is one thing. You disabled enemy guard, so that could help in terms of damage. And he did have a high chance to crit. So yeah. Okay. Every time the characters perform 2 or more attacks in battle, enters attacked enemy up to once within a turn. Okay. Yeah, he wasn't too bad of an EZA from 2024. For a sub EZA, yeah. And then our favorite World Tournament unit. Against one enemy, he would be effective against all types, and against multiple enemies, he would be able to use his active skill. And in Hirudegarn, I mean, yeah, he's decent. But that was pretty tough. Like, I was just like, I don't think it was like super duper difficult. It was just like strict in terms of like how many characters you had available to you. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get rid of that. Just want to talk about stage 1 a little bit for that reason, because that one mission that just... It's gone now because it was part of the Inevitable Showdown extra missions, so we'll go ahead and move on. We're getting towards the end. This one might be a funny one for some people, but yeah, the heart-pounding heroine battle. The Balma fight was very tricky. See, very first phase seals all enemies with super attacks. So literally, like, seals all your characters. You can only do normal attacks. The whole point of this phase wasn't to like kill this phase or anything. It was to collect, I think it was like as many like rainbow keys as you could. The one fun thing about this event was that they like had gimmicks for each stage and like explained how they work. So I kind of do like this event. I think I remember there was one specific stage that annoyed me though. I think it was Android 18 that just like lowered your attack and defense by a lot. But anyway, versus Balma, phase 1, you lose the fight if you fail to collect a certain number of rainbow key spheres. So you need to bring like rainbow key sphere changers for that reason, or else you just straight up see the game over screen if you didn't collect enough. Phase 2, Balma would lower your character's key. There's a fight you failed all yeah. So you need to have good key mechanics here, because you need to launch a certain number of super attacks in a turn to continue on. Wait, where's bonus stats? Here we are. Yeah, enemies key -9. Oh my gosh. Here it is. So phase 3, if damage dealt by the attack that defeats ball mix, there's a certain value. Okay, so like, depending on how much damage you deal, like the final blow would determine which phase you'd be moving on to. I remember the way that it worked. Do we have her stats pulled up anywhere? Oh yeah, it's right here. So yeah, it'd be between these two. Really, it's just that the physical phase is a little bit weaker, while the SCR phase is stronger, having more HP as well. So let's see. I think it was just that like if you dealt like a lot of damage as the final blow, you'd go to the SCR phase. If you just like barely killed, it'd be the physical phase. Yeah, it probably just nuking characters you can't bring in here. Yeah, like most of these difficult challenge events. But yeah, here's the thing too, is that should get a lot of stats build up there. This is very weird to raise attack by 10% for one turn. We'll go ahead and pop this in. So it's 100% attack with each turn pass up to 200. So by the second turn, that'd be up, because they do count the very first turn they're on as like a turn passing, even though it's weird. I guess it's just weird wording, but anyway, we'll do that plus 200%, and that's gonna get us up to 6.6. Don't forget, 10% more. 720. Is that actually real? Hold on. Was that seriously? Because like, it's not 210%. It's because the super attack happens at a different time. And keep in mind, like these attack numbers are affecting the normals as well. I think it actually is true hitting. What am I doing? What is going on? Maybe I don't know how to use a calculator. Plus 10%. Okay, yeah, there we go. 7.2. That is a lot. That's a lot. But what makes her not so bad and like not one of the most difficult ever in existence is that, as you might be able to see here, she is not immune to any status effects, so you could stun and seal her and all that. Thing is though, is that like if she super attack right away, then like good luck. But just try to stun her as soon as you can, and probably wouldn't be all too bad. I do have a video on her, so if people struggle with this fight, you can go to that for like some tips and tricks. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, they have some funny meme fights in here. Versus Launch and versus Mai, they both have like this 900 million damage on a super. 800 million. Disables dodge, so you just had to deal with it. I remember that being a little bit stupid. But yeah, that's gonna be it for that. The next up, of course, we're gonna have we have to talk about the Goku and Frieza fight. This one was very difficult to deal with for a while. I remember I had some missions that I was struggling a little bit with. For Universe 11, that was very tough. So this very first phase didn't really stick around for all too long. Had a very low amount of HP. Really lowers your attack, which is like whatever. Although this is like maybe the most significant thing is that they'll deal 100k damage with each turn passed. So probably wouldn't want to stick around all too long. This phase locks you, guaranteed lock, for I think like maybe one or even two characters on the rotation, and 100% seal on the super attack. So that would be a bit tough because you couldn't get like your rotations in order. And then this phase right here does a lot. Disables your dodge in this phase and gets stats built up with each turn passed. So I mean I don't imagine you'd be in here for 10 turns. Let's do 30. Right? I think being in this, yeah, let's do 30%, because I think being in here for 3 turns is kind of standard, I'd say. So let's do, yep, plus 30%. Yeah, that's a lot, even only in 3 turns in. I mean, sure, we can look at it with all of it up, although maybe not the most realistic. That's gonna be 5.5. Yeah, definitely don't stick around. And then randomly changes key spheres. Yeah, this phase is very, very tough to deal with. And then whenever you get to this phase right here, let's see. So it has the damage threshold. The damage threshold was really, really high. Like, you basically had to deal like around like a 15 million attack on your super attack to deal damage. Like, it was really, really high. Yeah, whenever they would reach 50% or less HP, they would get a massive attack buff. So let's do this. That plus 100%, I'll get them up to 5.7. So yeah, that could be really tough. It's kind of weird that like AGL Jiren, yeah, he actually is, I guess, kind of decent for this fight. In some cases, I don't know. I mean, he uses standby maybe for like the middle phases here, and then once you get him out, then he could probably do a lot of damage to this phase here. I think in my video, I have a video of this event, the stage, me doing like the Universe 11 mission. I think AGL Jiren had a Dokkan attack versus this phase and just like immediately wiped them out, like almost all their HP. It was pretty funny, but yeah, that was very tough for a while, that stage. And then I think this is worth bringing up as well. The very last 2 stages of this Memorable Battles Movie Edition. Most of these stages isn't all too bad. They were kind of fun, but they're very short fights. What's really tough here is stage 9. Stage 10 is a little hard, but the main one is stage 9, because you're having to deal with a lot of this right away. So let's see here. So 150%. This does take effect the very first turn, I believe. So like that minus 15% attack. So we can do this minus 15. 135. So add 135 into what his super attack damage is there. 135% plus 50%. Yeah, it's like 5.5. Right away, turn 1. You do 2 of them. That's only a cooldown of 2. And the thing is, like, if he does a second super plus 50%, I don't know how true that would be. I think like it does add in as if it's like 100%, but I mean, you know, it's gonna be really high up there. Maybe not 8 million, but yikes. And plus, you know, the normals are getting buffed as well. So it'd really just be a bunch of characters that was really good right away. That'd be good against this. As for Janemba, he's not all too bad. I mean, like, after he receives an SCR type attack, he does get more attack, and minus defense with each unarmed super attack received. That's kind of silly. When he changes key spheres, he wasn't all too bad. I don't know, but yeah, Gogeta was very tough. And then okay, so as of the recording of this video, I have played a couple stages of Battle Hardened Formidable Foes. I think I've done... How many did I do? I think I've done up to Movie Edition Part 3. I don't think I've done the GT stage yet. I was going to, but they have a lot of content releasing, so I've basically done like half of these at this point. And so far, like, they do seem pretty difficult. We'll go through one of the stages that I've already... Let's go through level 1. So, yeah, some of the damage numbers on these phases is pretty high, but the thing is that a lot of the time the HP isn't able to match up to what your characters are doing nowadays. Plus the damage reduction isn't like the highest it could be. So really strong fights, it's just that HP doesn't really stick around all too long. But yeah, I mean, everything during the 10th anniversary, like Battle Hardened Formidable Foes, some of the red zone fights, they were difficult, but they never really felt like overly like, oh gosh, like the power creep was insane. Wasn't until this event came out here, Festival of Battles. I mean, just going all the way to the end. I mean, dealing with a 24 million damage super attack, 3 of them. I think Gogeta here. I mean, he's doing, well, like, how much? We'll do plus 50%. 36? Oh my god. Yep. That is, yeah. I mean, as you can tell, very easily the most difficult challenge event in the game right now, but I just wanted to go over and just talk about, like, each stage. This is a lot longer of a video than I expected it to be. I'm sorry for the length, but, there's a lot to talk about. This game's had a lot of meta shifts throughout the years, so... But yeah, I think just to wrap up, I think it'd be a good idea to make a... as crazy as it might sound, we could make a tier list of, like, my personal perspective of, like, each event, so I'm gonna get that set up. Alright, so I got everything hooked up together, I guess. I think this is all the events I talked about, 21 of them, which is a lot. I didn't think this video would be this long, but hey, we're here, and I hope y'all enjoying it. But just to wrap things up, I guess we'll just put a more clear picture on what I think in terms of, like, events relative to release, what was the most difficult. We can go from top to bottom, I think. Usually, like, you know, tier list, like, oh, it was number 10, 9, all that stuff. We'll start from straight from 1. I think it's Broly. I think it's easily that, because I brought up earlier about how, for the Truth DT, it took him over a week to do the no item run for that. While, as for Festival of Battles, which is what I'm going to put at number 2, at least right now, unless I think too hard about another one, but right now I think Festival of Battles would be number 2. Wait, hold on a second. Would this look better? I mean, it's not like it really matters, but I mean, sure, we can just do it like that. Yeah, no crop. I feel like that would look good. Just have the whole image, whatever. Doesn't really matter, but yeah, because Festival of Battles, I also know I done it pretty quick. Like, I think like my 4th, 5th run. It's just that it takes so long. It's really not that it's like super duper ultra most difficult thing ever to exist, even though like right now it is the most difficult right now. But it's just how long it takes. Because you spend like 2-3 hours of your life stacking up for multiple turns, and then you reach the end, and then you just die because things didn't go quite the way you needed it to. But okay, so as for number 3, what would I put there? Okay, so like I know that like these fights, the fighting spirit of the Saiyans, blah blah blah, all that stuff. I know that was pretty tough on release, but the thing is that like it didn't really shape the meta in too much of a way. I don't know. They were very tough fights, but they weren't even applicable to a lot of characters anyway, if that makes sense. So like you'd have to use a very specific team anyway. It's not like a lot of people would even talk about that event too much nowadays anyway. But what would be number 3? I mean, this has got to go up there. If not number 3, maybe like 4 or 5. Belmod just was so tough. I think this might have to go up maybe like 5 or something. And by the way, like I'm not saying like relating like the challenge to each other or anything. It's more so just how much it shaped the meta at the time, just how difficult it was relative to release. Hope y'all get what I mean by this point. Oh yeah, we need to have Goku Frieza up here. Would it be... I kind of feel like... Oh, I don't... No. I'm sorry, I feel like Belmod was tougher on release than Goku Frieza. Some people might disagree, but like Belmod was so much tougher, even because like the thing is, it took me multiple days to get it done with items. So I'm at least just speaking from my perspective. Maybe I'm bad or something. I don't know. Especially considering that I only had Tech Gohan on 1 leader skill in that one screenshot I showed. But yeah, from my perspective, I think Belmont was much more difficult on release as opposed to Goku Frieza, because I feel like no like special missions or conditions or anything, getting Goku Frieza done with a specific team like Tournament of Power or superheroes, it might not be the most difficult thing. No item, while Belmont multiple days with items being used. Oh heck, like it's hard to grade some of these that I weren't really around for. Maybe I shouldn't even really try to. But I don't think the GT Red Zone deserves to go up here. Let's see. Yeah, Zamasu deserves to be up here for sure. I think maybe even more so than, yeah, Metal Cooler Core. So hearing from the things I've heard of Legendary Goku event, it probably should be a bit higher than this, huh? Just that was a long time ago, back in like 2018, 2019 type of thing. So, but I think it might have released Goku Day 2019, did it? But I wasn't playing like too consistently back then, so it's hard for me to really say, but that's just a vague idea of it. Cell Max, this needs to be up here for sure. See what else? I'm gonna put it in its place in just a second, but what else like needs to go up here? I guess Gogeta and I guess Kid Buu. Yeah, this might have to be it. I mean, like the GT Goku and the Vegeta, they would probably be like 11 and 12 or something, but I think we should stick with it like this. So Cell Max, where's he gonna go? Because I mentioned it before, but it's really just the missions that was made this fight the toughest, not so much like the you know, no conditions, no mission, stuff like that. Just doing like any sort of run that you'd want. It wouldn't be that bad. I think more impactful than the Metal Cooler fight. More impactful than Zamasu? I don't think so. So I think that's a good spot right there. How about Zamasu versus Goku Frieza? I'm feeling this. People were complaining about Zamasu way too much. But I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm just saying that like it was insane just how much people were complaining about the Fusion Zamasu fight. Well, it's like the Goku Frieza fight, yeah, it's really tough, but it didn't have as much of an outcry as a Fusion Zamasu fight, so Gogeta versus Kid Buu. Cause that's what I'm thinking. Gogeta's the toughest out of this, rather than Beast. I'm feeling this. Hold on, let me just double check this. Broly at 1, Festival Battles. And the thing is too, is that like, keep in mind, like, we are a little bit fresh off of Festival Battles. It's only been like a couple weeks since it came out, so like, I'd say maybe take this with like a tad grain of salt with it being this high. But I think right now, I'm trying to be as objective as I can, not trying to like get caught up too much in the moment of how I feel about it. But so Belmont might be a bit of a personal thing, but that's how it was for me. Legendary Goku event, that's more so just from like the legends and all that I've heard. Yeah, Goku Frieza. Cell Max over Goku Frieza? I'd say so. Cell Max felt maybe a bit more hopeless than Goku Frieza did. Because it did not take me that many attempts to get Goku Frieza done. It was not like, of course it was a bit difficult sometimes, but I wasn't like stressing out. Like Cell Max, like, yeah, I think I'd be okay with that. Metal Cooler Core? I'm just bumping down Goku Frieza. I'm not trying to shame it. I might just leave it there. I don't want to bump it down too low. So, And this list is just like perfectly, you know, I'm just gonna zoom out just a little bit. There we go. So we get like the full thing on screen. So yeah, I guess I'll go with this. I mean, if any of y'all have any differing thoughts or like want to you know, counterpoints, feel free to comment, say anything y'all want, because you know, I'd be okay with this being like an open discussion type of thing. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it. Went through a lot of this. I mean, just quickly could mention some of these other challenge events that didn't really bring up. Like Infinite Dragon Ball History is not tough. Collection of Epic Battles, they do have like the stages 3 and 4. Like it's like Gohan and Cell that are kind of tough towards the end, but like, I wouldn't call them meta defining. This was a fun challenge event just to test out the 8th anniversary LRs. Look at the old 9th anniversary battle. No, it used to be the 8th anniversary, then they renamed it, and then, yeah. Bullet support memory boost, no. Super Dragon Ball Heroes Red Zone, no, that was never anything special. Blue Red Zone 2? Nah, I don't recall that being all too significant. Testifying fights, nah. No, this is just to test out the territory skill. I'm actually a little disappointed from how easy these can be sometimes. So, I don't know. And some of the conditions can be annoying because they don't explain it the best. This actually could be a potential contender. I remember, like, I think it was like the Gamma's fight that was really tough in here, or like the other Beast fight. What was the other Beast fight in here? Yeah, I think so. And this one, yeah. But they could be contender battles, like whatever. It's fine. We didn't even bring up the Fighting Legend Frieza event because it was not. Yeah, it did not have nearly as much of a splash as GT, Goku, and Vegeta Fighting Legend events. The Frieza one was a bit disappointing, and like maybe I'd like this one more if they just released more missions for it, like more frequently. Look at this, back in August? Like half a year ago, come on. Let's step it up with that. I'd like to have more missions than that. Even though it's not too hard, would at least be fun, you know? Let's see. Kind of funny, they have 2 versions of Furious Charge breaking the siege. Guess they like revamped it or whatever. That is absolutely nothing, this movie edition right here. Devil Awakens is kind of fun, gimmicky a little bit, but I wouldn't call it meta-defining. Special battle, no. Super Warriors, from what I can tell, Super Warriors edition is not anything. Goku Story Edition, Vegeta Story Edition, they're... I heard that they're really tough, but they're not like impossible or anything. The Anniversary Battle, they have some tough stages there, some tough missions, but no. Well, yeah, I think that's about it. I don't think that like DB Saga is really like the most difficult thing or anything. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty much just all that. So we covered most everything that was like super relevant. So all right, time to wrap up because I can't multitask. I can't do World Tournament and talk at the same time. So I'm gonna go ahead and get back to grinding. So hope y'all enjoyed this video. It's been a fun one. Have an idea for maybe tomorrow's video. Probably another discussion one. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. So hope you all enjoyed this video. Be sure to have an amazing, lovely day, and check the barber shop.